This is Babitha, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of ECE in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So in this session, we are going to discuss about course description on outcome-based education. So in this session, we are going to discuss about what is meant by outcome-based education and why we are moving for the outcome-based education even though we are having the traditional education system. And what is meant by course overview for the particular courses, and what is meant by course objectives, and what is meant by course outcomes, as well as program educational objectives and program specific outcomes. So while coming to the outcome based education here, actually why we are moving for the outcome based education even though we are having the traditional education system means, in the case of our traditional educational system, we are planning the system like we are teaching and we are conducting some exams and we are seeing the results. So in order to improve the results, we are not doing anything over there in the case of traditional educational system. But in the case of outcome based education system, we will assess the results here. After teaching, we will assess the results and we will take the feedback from the students and different entrepreneurs and from the parents and all. After collecting the feedback from all the entrepreneurs as well as parents and students, we can able to change the programming programming courses in order to improve the results here. Okay, so outcome based education or outcome based education is an educational theory that bases each part of an educational system around goals or outcomes. By the end of the educational experience, each student should have achieved the goal here. So in the case of outcome based education, each student can able to reach his goal. Why? Because at each and every semester, completion of the semester, we are assessing the results and all, we are taking the feedback and again we are doing some process to improve the results and feedback here. So there is no single specific style of teaching or assessment in the case of outcome based education. Instead of classes, opportunities and assessments should all help students achieve the specified outcomes here. So here objective is nothing but what we are going to learn in the particular course we will define. Outcome is nothing but after learning that particular course, what is we are achieving that indicated with the outcome. So in order to achieve the specified outcomes, the in order to achieve the specified outcomes here, we are conducting the classes, opportunities as well as assessments, different assessments like tech talks as well as concept videos we are presenting to improve the outcomes here. So the role of the faculty adopt into instructor, trainer, facilitator and mentor based on the outcomes targeted in the case of outcome based education. And what is outcome based education generally it is? So outcome based education is a student-centered teaching and learning methodology. So in which the course delivery, assessment are planned to achieve stated objectives and outcomes here. So that is nothing but in the outcome based education, first of all we will decide our objectives here. So these objectives are from the national board accreditation to the faculty. From a national board accreditation will give some goals, from that the principals as well as HODs of the particular branches will decide the different programs, and from that programs we will design the programming objectives, and from that programming objectives we will decide the different course objectives. So from that course objectives we will get the course particular outcomes here. So in order to state that objectives and outcomes, we are we are utilizing different assessment levels as well as course delivery contents in the case of outcome based education. So it focuses on measuring student performance. There is nothing but how the student is improving, whether particular student is improving their performance or not. If not, it what stage it is not, he is weak at what stage, in at what factors he need to improve. That and all we are tracing back in the case of outcome based education. So outcomes at different levels we are seeing here. So OBE is all about feedback and outcomes. There is nothing but we are, I have already mentioned, we are taking the feedback from all the stakeholders, parents and entrepreneurs and all. And to achieve our required outcomes, we are doing some assessments, doing some processes, we are giving some procedure to get this or to achieve this outcomes here. And why outcome based education here? So, international recognition and global employment opportunities. In order to get this recognition and global employment, we require outcome based education here. So, more employable and innovative graduates with professional and soft skills, social responsibilities, and ethics. So, in order to achieve this more employability and innovative graduating students, in order to achieve that, we require the outcome based education. And better visibility and reputation of the technical institution among stakeholders here. So, while compared to the remaining things, if we compare the technical institution, to improve the performance and to improve the outcomes, we are going with the outcome based education. And improving the commitment and involvement of all the stakeholders. So if we design our objectives as well as outcomes, we will go with our commitment and involvement in order to reach our outcomes here. And enabling graduates to excel in their profession and accomplish greater heights in their careers. And preparing graduates for the leadership positions and challenging them and making them aware of the opportunities in the technology development. So these are the things which are required for the why we are moving for the outcome based education. And next, what are the benefits of OBE for the faculty members? So faculty members are referred to as the change of agents in the outcome based education. Why? Because in order to achieve our required outcomes, the faculty are the main things here. We are taking the feedback from the different members, and we are going to improve the outcomes. How we are going to improve means, in order to provide the different assessment methods, we have to utilizing the different procedures, those and all done by the faculty members. And teaching will become a far more creative and innovative career here. Because of OBE, it will be innovative as well as more creative. Faculty members will no longer feel the pressure of having to be the source of all knowledge here. And faculty members shape the thinking and vision of students towards the course here. So if we frame particular objectives and outcomes and all, so that we can able to go in that particular process to achieve the required goals here. And what is the basic difference between the traditional education system as well as outcome based education system? So the traditional education system is the grades or rank based system. That is nothing but the assessment we are performing only by seeing the result of the student, how much percentage he got and what rank he got. Depending on that only, we are performing the assessment here. Okay, and grades are derived from the points on activities, assignments, and exams only here in the case of traditional educational system. And judgment methods are shaped from previous results only. We are not performing any assessment here. What is the result we are getting from the exams only? We are doing the analysis here. And only summative assessment, that is nothing but from the exams. What is the result we are getting? That only we are considering here. No assess, feedback, improve loop in the case of traditional educational system. So overall we can say, in the case of traditional educational system, the faculty will teach the subject and students will learn the subject and they will write the exams. So after writing the exams, after getting the results, from that results only we are able to find the what is the grade we are getting, what is the percentage we are getting and all. So in order to improve that, we are not at all doing anything in the case of traditional education. We are not performing any assessments, we are not taking any feedback from any stakeholders, our students, our parents, etc. in the case of traditional educational system. So in order to overcome this difficulty in the traditional educational system only, we are moving for the outcome based educational system here. So in this, the first thing, we will decide our goals, decide outcomes based assessment here. First thing, we will design our outcomes here. And completion of educational implies the learners has achieved the set goals. So here, the education is completion. How we are indicating here, it means whether the particular student achieved the desired goals or not. And judgment methods are shaped from continuous evaluation. That is nothing but continuously we are taking the feedback and we are performing some assessment and procedure to improve the goals, to achieve the goals here. Both formative and summative assessments we are doing here. So formative and summative assessments means along with the results we are also taking the feedback and we are doing some processes here. And the presence of assess feedback improve the loop here. So this is the basic difference between the traditional educational system as well as outcome based educational system here. And what is the outcome based education framework or process here? So the first thing in the outcome based education is we will decide our outcomes. So in order to achieve that outcomes, we are utilizing the different assessments here. So to design these outcomes, to design these outcomes or to design our goals, we are taking the inputs from the stakeholders, our constituents, our parents, our students, or etc. here. Okay, so after taking the inputs, we will design or define vision and mission of the institution first. What is the mission of the institute and what is the vision of the institute and what is our main goals or requirements for the institution. Okay, and after that we will indicate the program educational objectives. What are the program educational objectives for the different departments? We have to indicate first. And next, program outcomes. So program outcomes related to the particular branches here decided by the head of the departments or principals of the institution. And after that, we will indicate the course outcomes. So from each and every course, what is the outcome we are expecting here? So these all are the outcomes we are defining here, the inputs which are taken from the different stakeholders and different persons here. Okay, so in order to reach these outcomes, what are the assessments we are going to do here? So first one is institutional assessment. So institutional assessment means institutional level. We are going to see whether the desired goals or outcomes are achieved or not here. Institutional levels we will see. And next, program assessment at the branch level, at different branch level, whether the particular programming outcomes are achieved or not. We are going to assess here. And next, course assessment. So for the each and every course, whether our outcomes are achieved or not here. So in order to achieve these goals, we are taking these assessment from the institutional level and the branch level and the course level here. So here we are doing to reach these outcomes, course planning and delivery here, and the syllabus, and which type of teaching methods we are using, and what are the learning activities we are providing for the students, and what are the assessment tools we are utilizing here. So these are the major things to achieve our required outcomes here. So always from the assessment, we are getting the continuous improvement to reach the required outcomes here. So this is the outcome-based educational framework or process here. And OBE framework process here. So the first thing here we are defining the program educational objectives. In the previous slide, we can see program educational objectives. What is meant by the program educational objectives? So program educational objectives are broad statements that describe the career and professional accomplishments that the program is preparing graduates to achieve within 3 to 5 years after graduation. At College of Engineering, PEOs are specific to each program here. That is nothing but at each and every program, that is nothing but at each and every branch, these program educational objectives are derived here. So whether graduates after 3 to 5 years after completion of his graduation, whether he achieved his outcomes or not, is decided by the program educational objectives. And next one is program outcomes. So the program outcomes or student outcomes are narrow statements that describe what students are expected to know and be able to do the time of graduation. It is nothing but what students are expecting from the each and every course and what they are going to learn in their graduation period. So these relate to the knowledge, skills and behavior the student acquire through the program. So what is the knowledge they are acquiring, what type of behavior they are learning and what type of skills they are developing during this graduation period indicated by the program outcome. Okay. At the College of Engineering, POS are the specific to each program. Again, program outcomes are also specific for each and every branch here. And next we're coming to the course outcomes. So course outcomes are the statements that describes the knowledge or skills the student should acquire by the end of particular assignment or class or course or program here. So and help students understand why that knowledge and those skills will be useful to them here. So that indicates the course outcome. So these are the elements of technical or soft skills that each student must acquire prior to implementation of a specific course. Completion of a specific course, what the technical or soft skills the student can able to acquire in here. That is the subject part. CO is designed to support and measurable as against program outcomes here. So course outcome is very specific to each individual course. There is nothing but subject here. And here, after indicating the different outcomes, in order to achieve that outcomes, what type of assessment we are going to do? Here we are going to do the two types of assessments, that is the direct assessment and indirect assessment here. So a professional makes a decision regarding what a student learned and how well it was learned indicated by the direct assessment. For example, faculty evaluating the papers or tests or performance is the direct evaluation or direct assessment here. So what is meant by indirect assessment? The students decides what he or she learned and how well it was learned is indicated by the indirect assessment. That is nothing but surveys and teaching evaluations are indicated by the indirect assessment. And next, formative assessment refers to a wide variety of methods the teachers use to conduct in-process evaluation of student comprehension as well as learning needs and also academic progress during each lesson or unit or course here. So formative assessments are for learning and summative assessments are of learning. And what is meant by formative and summative assessments? We have indicated here. Formative assessments are help students to learn and practice. Summative assessments are used to assess the student performance here. So when throughout the course, when it is useful, and identify the gaps and improve the learning, and what approaches that support specific student needs. Summative assessments at the end of the instructional period and collection of evidence of students' knowledge, skills, or proficiency, and via exit learning products of a cumulative assessment. From these we can able to perform the summative assessment, and from these we can able to perform the formative assessment here. And what are the graduate attributes here? So graduates attributes are a set of generic knowledge or skills and attributes considered essential for graduate engineers of the 21st century. So all graduates are expected to demonstrate these attributes on completion of their degrees here. So institution can ensure these attributes in their fresh graduates may be accredited. That is nothing but if any changes are there that can be improved for the further batches joined into the institution. It provides the means for establishing substantial equivalence of degrees in all the courses. And important aspects for the course description. The first thing is course. So the course may be either theory or practical, or theory cum practical, subject studied in a semester. Example, I am taking here it as the analog electronics course. And what is meant by course outcome? So a course outcome is a formal statement of what students are expected to learn in a particular course. So when creating course outcomes, the outcome should clearly state what students will do or produce to demonstrate their learning here. So course learning outcome statements refer to specific knowledge, practical skills, areas of professional development, attitudes and higher order thinking skills, etc. And next, while coming to the program is defined as a specialization or a discipline of a degree here. Different branches we can say here it as. It is the interconnected arrangement of courses, co-curricular and extracurricular activities to accomplish predetermined objectives leading to the awarding of a degree. For example, we can take it as a BTech or MTech or any degree here. And next, program outcomes. So a program outcome is broad in scope and able to do the end of the program here. So POs are to be in line with the graduate attributes as specified in Washington Accord. POs are to be specific, measurable and achievable here. So National Board Accreditation has defined 12 program outcomes, and we need not to define those program outcomes by ourselves, and it is common for all the institutions in India. Program educational objectives. So program educational objectives should be defined by the head of the department in consultation with the faculty members here. So PUOs are promised by the department to the aspiring students about what they will achieve once they join in the program. So PUOs are about professional and career accomplishment after 4 to 5 years of graduation. PVOs can be written from different perspectives like career or technical competency and behavior. So 3 to 5 program educational objectives are recommended for any course here. Program specific outcomes. So program specific outcomes are what the student should be able to do at the time of graduation with reference to a specific discipline. Usually there are 2 to 4 program specific outcomes for each and every branch or program here. So these are the program outcomes provided by the National Board of Accreditation. These are common for all the institutions. So the first PO here, it is the engineering knowledge. So where we are applying the engineering knowledge, it is the apply the knowledge of mathematics, science, engineering fundamentals and engineering specialization in order to solve the complex engineering problems. So that is the first program outcome. And the second one is problem analysis. So this is for identify, formulate research literature and analyze complex engineering problems, reaches substantiated conclusions using first principles of mathematics, natural science and engineering sciences. And third one is decision or development of solutions. So this is for designing and development or providing the solutions for complex engineering problems and design systems, components or processes that meet the specified needs with approximate consideration for the public health and safety and cultural, societal and environmental conditions. And while coming to the next PO, conduct investigation of complex problems. So use research-based knowledge and research methods, including design of experiments, analysis and interpretation of data, and the synthesis of the information to provide valid conclusions. So modern tool usage, create, select and apply appropriate techniques, resource and modern engineering and IT tools including prediction and modeling to complex engineering activities with an understanding of the limitations. The engineering and society, the next program. Okay, the next program outcome here it is the engineer and society. So apply reasoning informed by the contextual knowledge to assess societal health, safety, legal and cultural issues and the consequent responsibilities relevant to the professional engineering practice. So while coming to the next PO, environment and sustainability. So understand the impact of the professional engineering solutions in societal and environmental contexts. We are going to utilize this program outcome. And next PO8 for ethics. Apply ethical principles and commit to professional ethics and responsibilities and norms of the engineering practices here. And next, individual and teamwork. So function effectively as an individual and as a member or leader in diverse team and in multidisciplinary settings. And next is for communication. So in order to communicate effectively on complex engineering activities with the engineering community, with society at large, such as being able to comprehend and write reports and design documentation, in that cases we are going to utilize this communication outcome. And next one is project management and finance. So to demonstrate the knowledge and to understand the engineering and management principles and apply these one on own work as a member and leader in a team to manage projects and in multidisciplinary environment, we are going to utilize this. And last program outcome is lifelong learning. So if any particular subject is required for lifelong learning, we have to map this PO, recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability in independent and lifelong learning in broadest context of technical change. So these are the 12 program outcomes defined by the National Board of Accreditation. These are common for all the educational institutions. And next, structure of course outcome, how we have to write the course outcome for the particular course here. So relationship of course outcome to the program outcome. So the course outcome need to link to the program outcome. Here use the following learning outcomes formula. So here we need to write the students should be able to, after completion of particular course, the student should be able to, we need to write, and what is the behavior, and next result evidence. In order to write each course outcome, we have to follow this particular 3 points. For example, you can use the following template. You write an approximate course level. So upon completion of this course, students will able to knowledge, concept, rules or skill you expect them to acquire by how, what he is going to learn, what is the output, by what it is, by what concept, by what process he is achieving that particular outcome, we need to write. So next one is course overview. So the course overview will indicate from that course what is the basic knowledge required to learn that course, we need to write first, and what are the contents or concepts we are going to learn in that particular subject, we are going to write. And next, what are the applications of that course, we need to write. That 3 points we have to cover for writing the course overview of any particular subject here. So here I have taken the analog electronics subject course overview. So this particular course will provide the basic knowledge over the construction and functionality of the basic electronic flow of current through these switches in different biasing conditions and amplification. So this course is used to describe the different configurations to provide temperature stability and how these electronic devices can be configured to work as rectifiers, clippers and voltage regulators, clampers and amplifiers and operational amplifiers. So these courses utilize students examine the building blocks of analog electronics through graphical, analytical and computer tools. Upon the completion of the class, students should be proficient in electronics here. And next one is alternative assessment tool aid. So this alternative assessment tools enables faculty to design own assessment patterns during the continuous internal assessment. So the AIT converts the classroom into an effective learning center. That is, instead of only teaching, we are going to give some assignments and assessments or tech talks or concept videos in order to improve the skills of the students and in order to understand the subject in simple way. And in this AAT, we are including tutorial hours or classes, seminars for the students, and the assignments for the students, and the term paper, and the open-ended experiments and modeling and experimental tools in engineering. 5 minutes video or MOOCs. These all are comes under the alternative assessment tool here. So we are providing some percentage to each and every alternative assessment tool here. And next, we're coming to the course objectives. So course objective means before going to learn that particular course, first of all, we are providing the objectives for that course. What are the objectives of that course? What we are going to learn in that course. So the students will try to learn the operational principles of analog electronic circuits such as feedback amplifiers and operational amplifiers here. Why? Because I have taken the subject as analog electronics here. And the second objective is the analog circuit fundamental theory to build signal conversion circuits, filter circuits, data converters, as well as automatic gain control circuits. And the exploration of the analog circuits applications in the advanced fields of power electronics, such as power factor monitoring circuits, power quality measurements, and the SMPS and battery controls. These are the objectives of the analog electronic circuits. So after completion of this course, students will be able to achieve the course outcomes of this analog electronics. So while coming to the course outcomes, while writing the course outcomes, we have to take the 3 points here. What students will going to learn and what behavior and what is the resulting evidence we have to write here. So the first CO I'm taking here, it has recall the operation of voltage current characteristics of the diode for applications such as rectifiers, clippers and clampers here. So here we are utilizing the recalls of the Bloom's taxonomy for the recall is remember here. Okay. And in this case, they are learning the VI characteristics of the amplifiers for understanding the applications of the amplifier, that those as rectifiers, clippers and clampers. So while coming to the CO2, illustrate the concept of transistor operation with input output characteristics and configuration for applications such as switching and amplification. That is nothing but they are understanding, the state means understand, they are understanding the concept of the transistor for understand the applications, those are switching and amplification. And next CO3, explain the principle of operation and drain and transfer characteristics of MOSFET for common source, common drain and common gate amplifiers and high frequency equivalent circuit. So the Blooms for this is understand. And next, while coming to the next CO, interpret the voltage gain, current gain and frequency response at low, mid and high frequencies of multi-stage amplifiers using different coupling methods. So here again for the interpret Bloom's taxonomy is understand. That is nothing but for the multi-stage amplifiers we are going to learn the different gain conditions as well as different coupling methods from this CO. And next CO5 is the extend the concept of transistor for cascade amplifier and Darlington pair. That is nothing but we are extending this concept of transistor to make the multi-stage amplifiers, for example, cascade amplifier and Darlington pair. And next CO is apply the hybrid model of common emitter configuration for unity gain bandwidth and gain bandwidth product calculations. So that is nothing but we are applying the hybrid equivalent circuit for the common emitter amplifier to get the bandwidth and gain calculations. So for the apply Bloom's taxonomy is apply only. And next CO7, outline the differential amplifier and different types of power amplifiers using transistor at high frequency mode. So the outline Bloom's taxonomy is understand here. So in this case, we are understanding the differential amplifier and different power amplifier to find the high frequency models. And next, CO8, inspect the concept of feedback amplifiers with the general characteristics for different applications. So here inspect is nothing but the analyze here. And next, while coming to the next CO, apply the effect of feedback for amplifier characteristics and feedback configurations such as voltage series, voltage shunt, current series and current shunt circuits. It is nothing but the concepts of feedback amplifiers. 4 concepts we are applying to see the effect of feedback on the amplifier characteristics. So for the apply, the Bloom's taxonomy is apply here. And while coming to the CO10, explain the condition and operation of oscillator for different oscillators such as RC, LC, Hartley and Colpitts oscillator. So we are learning the concept of oscillators, learning the concepts of different oscillators here. For the explain Bloom's taxonomy is understand here. And next CO11, show the characteristics of such as output offset voltage, input bias current, input offset current using ideal and practical operational amplifier. There is nothing but we are going to learn the different ideal and practical characteristics of the operational amplifier. So for sure, please understand. And next, CO2 develop the application like inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier, integrator, differentiator, and waveform generators using the operation amplifier. So we are applying the concept of op-amp to design the different applications. So that's why the Blooms is applied. And mapping of each CO with program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So first we are decided the objectives, course objectives. In order to achieve that course objectives, so after completion of the course, we are going to see whether that particular COs are achieved or not. So for course outcomes, we have to map the program outcomes as well as program specific outcomes here. So for each and every CO, whatever we define, what are the program outcomes are matching here and what are the program specific outcomes are matching here, we have to make it as tick marks. So for the CO1, I have taken it as 1 and 2. Similarly for CO2, 1 and 2. As well as program specific outcome 1 is also a mapping here. So after mapping this, we have to give the competency level of this one. We have to give it as some 1, 2 and 3 levels here in order to find whether we reach that particular value or not. And what are the program outcomes I have utilized in the case of analog electronics subject? The PO1 and 2 I am utilizing in this particular subject. I have given strength 3 for both the POs here. Why? Because this is the basic subject required here to gain the engineering knowledge and apply the knowledge of mathematics, science, and engineering fundamentals and an engineering specialization to the solutions of complex engineering problem. It is required. So that's why I am mapping this program outcome 1 to the our course. So we can achieve this program outcome proficiency assessed by semester end examination or continuous internal evaluation or alternating assessment tools or by using the quiz. And I have also utilized the PO2 problem analysis, identify the formulate, review research literature, analyze complex engineering problems, reaching substantial conclusions using first principles of mathematics, natural sciences, and engineering sciences. So here also I have given the strength as 3, and I can also achieve this. I have proficiency assessed by semester end examination, continuous internal evaluation, and assessment, alternating assessment tools are quiz here. And along with this program outcome, I have also considered one program specific outcome for the AE subject. So the program specific outcome 1 is the analyze, design, investigate, simulate, and fabricate the commission in the electrical systems involving generation, transmission, distribution, and utilization of the electrical energy here. And how justification for CO to PO PSO mapping, direct how we are mapping here. So for each and every CO, how many POs or PSOs are mapping, we have to give here. How many are mapping, we have to indicate why we are mapping that particular PO to that corresponding CO. We need to write the justification here. So for the CO1, I have applied the PO1 as well as PO2. Why? Because PO1 relate to the engineering knowledge. So in order to understand the basic concepts will require the engineering knowledge. And the second one is for understanding the characteristics of the diodes and transistors we are using this. So the key competencies 3 and 6 we are utilizing for the CO1. And next for CO2, I mapped 2 POs, that is PO1 and PO2. I have given 3 and 6 are the competency level. And for the along with this, I have also applied the program specific outcome 1 for this CO2. Why? Because to understand the BJT concept, we are required so much analysis. So that's why we are mapping the PSO1 also. And for CO3, I have mapped PO1, 2 as well as PSO1. Same here to gain the knowledge of the multi-stage amplifiers and power amplifiers. We are utilizing this. And for the CO4, I have applied only PO1. Why? Because that is related to the feedback amplifier. So the competency level also I have given it as 3 here. And for the CO5, I have applied it as PO1. So these are the justification for the each CO with corresponding POs and PSOs. And next, total count of key competencies for CO as well as PO PSO mapping. So for this here we have to take all the course outcomes whatever we designed here, and the program outcomes and number of vital features, and the program specific outcomes, and what is the value we given, that corresponding values we have to write here. For CO1 we are mapped PO1 and PO2, so that's why we have given 3 and 6. Among 3 I have given 3 here, for the 10 I have given it as 6 here. So similarly for the second CO, PO value I have given it as 3 and 6, and the PSO value I have taken it as 1 level. And for the CO3 I have given it as 3 and 6, and the PSO value I have mentioned here it as 1. And the CO4 I have applied only PO1, the value of that one is 3 here. And for the CO5 also PO1 only mapped, the value is 3. And CO6 also 3, for CO7 also 3. And for the CO8 we have mapped PO1 as well as PO2, so the values are I have given it as 3 and 6. And for the CO9 also I have mapped PO1 and PO2, so the values of those are 3 and 6. And for the CO11 I have given only PO1, that is 3. And for the CO12 I have applied the CO1 as well as program specific outcome 1 here. So these are the required values we have mapped for each CO2 corresponding POs. And while writing the course outcome or topic learning outcome, what is the procedure we have to follow here? First of all, we have to write what is the topic we are going to cover in that particular session. That is name of the topic covered. That is, for example, I have taken here as Introduction to Analog Electronics. And what is the learning outcome from that topic? Here we are understanding the knowledge of analog circuits to analyze and each and every analog circuit here. And what is the course outcome we will achieve from this particular concept? That is, recall the operation and VA characteristics of diode for applications such as rectifiers, clippers and clampers here. So here recalling is nothing but what the student did. The students will try to learn. He learned is he recalled the concept. For what behavior, for what he learned here means to understand the operation and VA characteristics of the diode. So after learning that, what the students is going to do here, it is to perform the or to see the operation of the applications of that particular diode. That is that may be the rectifiers, in that half wave and full wave rectifiers, and different types of clippers and clampers. So from this particular concept, he going to learn the concept of diode and he applied it to the different applications of the diode. And what is meant by Bloom's Taxonomy? So Bloom's Taxonomy is considered as a global language for education. So Bloom's Taxonomy is frequently used by teacher in writing the course outcomes, as it provides a ready-made structure and list of action verbs. So why to use Bloom's Taxonomy to write the course outcomes? So write and revise learning objectives, to plan the curriculum, to identify the simple to most difficult skills, and to effectively align objectives to assessment techniques and standards, and incorporate knowledge to learn and cognitive process to learn, and to facilitate questioning. We are utilizing this Bloom's Taxonomy. And Bloom's Taxonomy definition here. So this Bloom's Taxonomy is a tool to help us to assess the level of your students are experiencing in your particular course here. So intentionally address the level of cognitive complexity and challenge in the course, we are utilizing the Bloom's Taxonomy. So this Bloom's Taxonomy is excellent framework providing multiple points of entry. So the Blooms and colleagues are created 3 learning taxonomies, that is cognitive domain, affective domain and psychomotor domain. So these are the different Bloom's taxonomies we are going to utilize for writing the course outcomes of any particular course or subject here. So first Bloom's taxonomy is remember. So remember taxonomy we will utilize in order to recall the facts and basic concepts of that particular topic here. That is, we can utilize the define, duplicate, list, memorize, repeat in order to indicate the remember Blooms here. So the next level of Blooms is the understand. So this understand explains ideas or concepts of that particular topic. So in this we can utilize the classify, describe, discuss, explain, identify, locate, recognize, report, select and translate type of Blooms to write the course outcomes. So the next level of Blooms is the apply here. We'll use information in a few situations. So it execute, implement, solve, use, demonstrate, interpret, operate, schedule, sketch, etc. comes under this apply Blooms. And next, after application, we have to analyze. So that's why next level is analyze. So draw connections among ideas. So that is differentiate, organize, relate, compare different works with the experiments and questions and test here. So next one is evaluate here. So justify a stand or a decision. Appraise, argue, defer, defeat, judge, select, support, value, critic, weigh, etc. comes under the evaluate Blooms here. So next one is create here. So create is produce new or original work. That is nothing but we are designing something after learning particular subject. We are able to design something or not. We are constructing something or not. We are developing something or not. We are developing some circuit or whether we are developing some particular formula or we are investigating that particular formula or not. So this is the stepward process here. First, remember, then remembering means recalling, and after that, understand the concept. And after understanding that, we have to apply that concept. And next, we need to analyze that particular concept. And next, we need to evaluate and create. From the evaluation, we can able to create the particular new concept or already presented concept here. So these are the different levels of the Bloom's taxonomy. These are very useful to write the course outcomes of any particular course or subject here. So in this session now we have discussed the course description on outcome based education related to analog electronics subject. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.